We got a caller on the line. May I help you, sir, or ma'am?
Good morning, John from
Oh, it's
Philly.
Mr. Z. I see the Z there. He didn't put Z. He didn't put the Mr. They didn't put the salutation in. What's up, buddy?
I wanted to ask you if you could help, please. You had mentioned yesterday and repeated today that Wednesday the 28th is,
Yes.
I called it an anti-P index date. In other words, you
Zero
don't
P.
have that.
Zero P.
Right. My
Yeah.
question is, can you assist and share with us what markets you're focusing on in regard to this particular date and that lack of aspects showing up?
Well, I'm actually looking at everything, Z, because this thing is so, unusual that I have to watch everything. Now, I really wanted to be a seller around 2,700 in the S&P. We only got up to 2698, and I see we've already dropped about 7 points from that level. So I'll have to wait and see, if I get some type of a counter trend rally here to put a low risk short on, because right now we're an amateur hour, and I hate to do anything in that first 45 minutes, because after that, it sort of thins out and you have some better ideas of what the market's going to be doing. But right now, if I had my choice, I'd like to be a seller of the S&P up around 2695. And but I certainly wouldn't want to be short if it gets above 2,700, because that was a major bottom down there in that E-mini with that 3-drive pattern and all the other things that were happening. Now maybe that's all we get. I don't believe that's it, because we've got so many news items that could be positive, and most of the people don't think that anything could happen with China, and that's usually when it does. And Z, this is the most amazing thing to me. I mean, we should be at war with Russia. I mean, after what they did, I mean, they actually went in and stole 3 ships out of a foreign country. I mean, and that's nothing compared to having well, I know somebody lost its life, but compared to a journalist in Saudi Arabia, there's nothing there. I mean, I don't understand the relationship there. These markets are just, they don't even care about it. So that means they're bullish, in my opinion. I got to better stop talking.
Yes. No, continue away. Thank you on that. We've listened to you speak many times over past years about the transit charts and aspects and your P index regiments.
Uh-huh.
I've never heard you speak of that subject in regard to other markets outside of stock markets. Do you apply that technique to other markets like the currency, bond, or precious metals markets?
Of course, because I do the same thing with every market. See, you and I trade quite a bit alike. So when I'm looking at ABCD patterns in the grains, I'm looking at ABCD patterns in bonds and everything else. And that's really what I'm doing. I keep it as simple as possible. I believe that the structure of the market is really where the theory lies, and so that's what I'm really focusing on. I mean, the hardest part that I have, and as you know this as well as I do, is trying to take that fog of fundamentals that you hear all night long, on Bloomberg and all the other places, that it makes you makes you a little dizzy. So if you can get past that and just look at the numbers, you have a pretty good you have a pretty good feel for it. We have something like what happened in natural gas over the weekend with that young man up, well, he wasn't that young, up in Saskatchewan, with being short natural gas, with all that bullish news coming out, and then yet the market just goes, straight down the other way. So it really makes you really respect the technicals more than the fundamental news that you usually hear.
Thanks very much on that. So let me ask you very directly here about gold. And I'm tracking, since we're right on the cusp of rolling from DEES to Feb as the lead COMEX contract, I'm set up the patterns and the Fibonacci calculations on both DEES and Feb. The DEES is 1211. The Febs are out at 1217. So here's my question. No aspects, no transit chart aspects showing up today, the 28th, and
Yes.
East Gold having made a low at 12.11. Fed Gold at 12.17. As we both know, that's within a point of a Fib 618 support mark versus
Yes,
the
sir.
low
Yes,
that
sir.
came back. Let me make sure I get this date correct.
Yeah.
November 13th. That was low on East Gold down 11.97. My question.
Z, stay with us. We got to pay a few bills. We got to pay a few bills. Come back with us, okay? 3 minutes.
Very good.
We're back, folks. We're talking with Mr. Z from the TFNN Den. John, we're talking about the gold, that fib number, and the Christmas gold coming in at around 1210. Is that correct?
Yes, and on this this date, November 28th, with 0 aspects, which you suggest is important to you, is this a candidate for a tradable low right here?
Absolutely, at 1210, another $1.50 lower. You have to take out. We took out yesterday's low by $0.50 already. We're still trading at 1211.50, so I think we can easily make 1210. But at that point, John, I don't think you need a $5 stop. I think it's either going to stop right at 1210, or you're going to be you'll be out, because I don't think it needs a $5 stop there. It's got to stop right there if it's any good at all.
All we need now is your friend from the past with his deck of pork belly orders to have the same deck with a buy of 2,000 or 20,000 COMEX D's gold. That's what we'd like.
That's one of my favorite stories from the Merc. I'll tell you, I was so scared that day, John. I thought for sure I was going to get 500 or $1,000, or even be banned for trading for a month. Sometimes that happened to people that did some stuff. You know, one of the worst things that you could do on the floor was to show money. In other words, if you reached in your pocket and had some bills or something, boy, that was an automatic fine of $250. And they had tapes, and that was. Yeah, I'm sure you remember that, but boy, I was very, very careful about that. They warned me about that at my orientation meeting, but no cash ever was shown on the floors for sure.
Yes, back in the late 80s, I had a friend, a buddy, who was a floor trader in the World Trade Center building in Manhattan, and he described to me the very same rules and regulations, so very cool.
Hey, thanks for joining, my friend. I really appreciate it, and the happiest holidays to you, my friend.
Thank you very much. Bye now.